Hi Aquarius, welcome to your July 2016 love reading. It's Rena here. Can't figure out what's in the frame. Oh jeez. Wow, this is like kind of... Some of you have been going through some stuff. I can tell. And the seventh card, I'm gonna just, it'll be the mystery card, but that's the outcome. You don't get to, I got the same card, even after shuffling, in the same position that I just got for Cancer. Pretty funny. Okay. Which one to read first on the top? How about the recent past? Eight of Swords. Someone feeling like they are in bondage. And this is kind of considered something that the person is doing to themselves by their thought patterns. And in love, when we're talking about dysfunctional relationships, or even if you're single and you feel like you're having such a hard time meeting people or sustaining relationships, I would look at your attitude or the thoughts you tell yourself, which these are thoughts. Swords are thoughts. The thoughts you tell yourself about this, about your situation, you know, because a lot of times people do not have a sense of really believing that something is possible, and they tend to prove themselves right because certain things keep happening over and over again, but it's really not the case. They can have something bigger and better. It's just a matter of letting go of outworn ideas. And some of these ideas may have started in childhood. They may be rooted in experiences that a person has had. As a fixed sign, as an air sign, so your primary way of expressing energy is through communication, but communication also includes thoughts, communication towards yourself. You're a fixed sign, so it can be very stubborn thoughts that you have a hard time kind of getting over, being fixed in your opinions about life, about certain aspects of life. And until you can challenge those thoughts and opinions, you probably will keep seeing the same thing repeat itself over and over again. Or is that redundant? And you will then be even further entrenched in those thoughts. So you have to explore ways to dissolve these misconceptions. And there's a woman named Byron Katie. Some of you may have heard of her. She has a process called The Work. And you can go on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure because I've seen it there in the past. She has videos on the work. Sometimes these different methods may not resonate with you 100%, but just the basic premise of it, I think, is very helpful. Because she says that you need to ask for anything that you believe. You ask, is it true? And, in other words, can you really prove that whatever you think about a certain situation is true? Because a lot of times we make assumptions and we act like something is a fact, and it's really just our opinion, and we can't change it. Especially when we really look at our beliefs and see that they are based on false premises. And so they lead to this kind of restriction, and it's so unnecessary, you know. It causes unnecessary suffering, in other words. And so I'm looking at the current situation. We get the Five of Pentacles, and I really connect these two cards because a lot of times people will stay in a negative situation because they don't think there's really anything else out there. And that's because they feel like they have to have something, and something is better than nothing. And so this keeps them in bondage. And this keeps them in bondage because they cannot see the beautiful, see, these are pentacles, so there is, you know, there is wealth, and I'm using that metaphorically, available for them, but they're focused on their personal pain. And this is such a a weird depiction of the Five of Pentacles to me. I like the Rider-Waite deck, and I was just looking to see if I could find my Rider-Waite deck. And you have like two people who are dressed in rags walking by a church, and they have their heads down low because they're, you know, down and out, as they call it. And meanwhile, they're not looking up at the church with stained glass windows. So it can also represent being too materialistic and not seeing the spiritual, you know, riches of life. But in this context, I feel like it's looking at your relationships or the potential for relationships with a feeling that you have limits on what you can have. And so you better just stick with what you have, or pick whatever comes down the pike, because who knows, you know. And as an Aquarian, you tend to gravitate towards different types of people. You're not necessarily going to want the person who is the most stable sometimes. Sometimes you like that oddball character. And that person can really put you through the ringer, so to speak. So, you know, that can be this too, you know, suffering from this crazy relationship. The higher message is the Nine of, Wands. And the Nine of Wands is all about having to be vigilant. You know, maybe you have left a relationship, but you haven't left it mentally. And so it's still bothering you. And this person, maybe the universe is saying, don't think that you're done with that person, because that person is going to try to worm their way back into your life. So be prepared, you know, for that to happen. And it could be a fire sign. You know, if we look at these astrologically, this could be an earth sign individual that you're currently with, and a fire sign person is waiting in the wings. Typically, I think that you're more compatible with fire signs, you know, depending on your individual chart, but the earth sign person would be the more stable influence most of the time. And you know, it could even be that you're choosing between a fellow air sign like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and an earth sign. And actually a fire sign individual is the best bet for you. This would probably be somebody that's already in your life to some degree. What's crossing you is the Queen of Wands. So this is definitely a fire energy. This is, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it's crossing you. So maybe this is actually a person that is causing problems. Maybe that is the person who's causing problems. I just assumed it was someone good. Maybe you're with somebody who is an earth sign, but that other person is still in the picture. The Queen of Wands, if we look at this as a woman, it's a woman who is a businesswoman. The reason they talk about it in those terms is because you have the feminine principle of the Queen, which can relate to the mother. And then you have the Wands, which relates to the fire energy. So it's like extroverted and confident energy along with that feminine principle. But you can have a woman who is a businesswoman, or a fire sign woman, somebody very confident, but somebody who is prone to being rather egotistical or dramatic. I don't know why Leo came to mind, but you know, it's interesting too, because Leo is your opposite sign. So some of you may have a certain karma, or at least history, with Leos, where they are in your life, you know, and you keep, you know, finding yourself with them. Maybe not even in a romantic sense, maybe just friendships with Leos. But you know, I was thinking about something. It could be the mother of your child, so this is why it's a queen. Oh, you know, could be your female boss, guys. And it's saying, since it's crossing you, it's saying don't even go there. But I was just thinking that maybe this person is causing problems in your life for some reason. It could be, you know, another thing too is maybe you are torn between two people yourself. Maybe you're doing the cheating. I never thought of that. Maybe you're torn between a fire sign and an earth sign, and so you're but this person might be the wife, and maybe she's a mother of the person that you're with. Maybe, but this is like what is crossing you. So that character or person is an obstacle for you getting what you want in some way. The consciousness or the attitude to adopt at this time is the Hermit card, which is really perfect in a situation like this, especially under that Eight of Swords. It's about going within and checking in with yourself, you know, the higher self, the self connected all the time to the other side, that is constantly feeding you information, but at a subtle level. And how many people are present to receive it? You know, people are just so distracted by the kind of minutia in life that really is just so shallow and temporary. And the Hermit is seeking wisdom, and you know, his lamp, you know, connects to that enlightenment that he's seeking, and he can only do that by going within himself, being alone. You know, Aquarius, you're very social, and that kind of adds complications to your life in a situation like this, because sometimes people feel like, you know what, I'm going to tell everybody I know about my situation. And you get feedback from people, but everyone's different. Some people think you should do this, some people think you should do that, and they do not know your destiny. They can only give you advice based upon their own personal dharma or karma, you know, life experiences. And, you know, so it's really pointless sometimes to talk about these things in order to solve the problem, because sometimes it can complicate things because you get all these different ideas on it. So yeah, going within can sometimes be just what you're supposed to be doing. The advice is the Eight of Cups. So this is about leaving what no longer serves you and going towards something more meaningful. And that's what I always stress. I said, it's not enough to just leave. You have to have a destination in mind. And I'm talking about us on the spiritual level, not literally somewhere you're going to go. Again, you may feel trapped in a relationship and you don't know exactly how to free yourself. This can give you some clues. I mean, I think it's really underrated, you know, how often people end up finding the answer to their dilemma just by being quiet. But it's interesting that I got that as the advice, because I think it goes right along with what we're talking about. And the outcome, as I got for Cancer just now, is the King of Cups. Now, who is the King of Cups? Is that the actual person? Well, you know, the cups are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, so I don't know if it will be one of those signs that you end up with. But in terms of you, maybe you have to master your emotions. And this is where it gets tricky, because, you know, sometimes I'd say, do you have emotions? Do you really, really feel your feelings? Or do you intellectualize them? And it's interesting because when I see the King of Cups, I think of people who do not exhibit excessive emotion, you know, who leak emotion. But on the other hand, maybe it is incorporating emotions into your basic personality. Maybe some people are underactive in their emotional nature, and this is like you becoming more balanced. It could, though, mean that you will be going towards somebody who is a water sign. And I'm trying to think of the water sign that I would associate most with Aquarius. Well, Pisces, I did know a couple where one was Pisces and one was Aquarius. But that they didn't stay together. So, and some of them, sometimes they do. Paul Newman was an Aquarius, and his wife Joanne Woodward was a Pisces, and they were married for many, many years. So it does happen. I don't know about with Cancer. I do know that sometimes Aquarius and Scorpio get together. So I don't know if I'm being too literal about that, but definitely when you end a reading with cups, that means that love is in the air, and that's good. So I think I will leave it there, Aquarius. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month. Bye.